Are you going through a spiritual awakening? Feel like no one knows what's happening to you? Welcome. My name is Danielle. I am also spiritually awakened, and I want to tell you today my own very personal story of how I came to awaken, to see if it resonates with you, but also to let you know that you are not alone. A little backstory. I was raised in a Baptist church after multiple series of very shocking in the pulpit scandals. I left religion. I had a wild conversation with a former Jewish manager about Scientology, and she said something so jarring that I left religion completely. We were talking about Scientology. No offense to Scientologists. She was saying the Church of Scientology is basically someone saying this is what it is and we're all going to follow that. And I was like, holy shit, that's what all religions are, right? And I was like, ah. Now, some smaller things had led up to this moment. That in that moment, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to bow out. It actually took a much wilder turn than that. I eventually believed that there wasn't a God. I had practiced atheism for 6 or 7 years. Then 2020 happened, which I know was everybody's downfall. But in the year of 2020, we all had that great disruption, right? We lost our jobs. We couldn't see anyone. We were isolated, And then came 2021, which I thought would be better in many ways. But it was really just 2020's evil twin, right? For me, I saw the demise of several core relationships in my life. And then I got the phone call that my lifelong friend was in ICU with probably no chance of making it out. The wild part is that because of COVID, I couldn't go see her without taking the spot of a mother or father. So I did get a message to her. I actually told her cousin to tell her an inside joke between just her and I, and she smiled and nodded, which was heartbreaking and heartwarming all at the same time. And then September 4th, 2021, she passed away. Now, to be very candid, she was a product of the opioid epidemic. It had been decades coming, so not diminishing that, but as expected as it was, it hit me really, really hard. I actually had a friend who was also her friend say, I don't know why you're so tore up. And I was like, am I overreacting? But every day after she passed, I would muster up enough energy to work and take care of my child. And then as soon as I could, I would fall apart for like 20 days. And then one day I woke up and the sky was so vivid blue. The flowers were radiant and it seemed like animals were really close to me, and I thought I was the animal whisperer, but I wasn't sad. I felt guilty because how could I not be sad when she's no longer here? Then I found out that I had had a spiritual awakening, but there was this beautiful period of time where I didn't know what was happening. I just knew that I felt connected to everybody. I felt connected to her. I felt this strong sense of oneness. And for my little know-it-all self to feel like I know the universe's secrets was really mind-blowing. I was out there. One of my friends that's known me forever, she was like, you're kind of a hippie now. I was like, huh. So eventually I had to find out what the hell happened to me. So, as you know, 2020 and 2021 were very dark times in many of our lives. So, I started going to therapy. I started meditating. I started finding teachers who could help me. And the wildest thing is that every single person to this day that I have found teacher or therapist wise, they are psychologists, Buddhists, meditators. Girl, that's got to be a universal sign, right? Like everyone you meet is on this same path. There's got to be something to that, right? So I found the Buddha. I started studying Buddhism after many years of being non religious. At first, I really didn't like what he said. He said that all of this suffering was my fault. And I was like, well, you got a lot of nerve, homie. He was right. He was 100% factual in what he said. He said that it was my fault. And yeah, pretty much he was right. But I stayed on the path, and I'm so glad that I did. I did whatever I could to sustain this beautiful state that I had found. I meditated. I went to therapy. I started attending Sangha or Dharma groups, Buddhist groups, to find people who are on the path as myself. To be honest, I have only met a few people who have had the kind of awakening that I have had. There are a ton of paths to awakening. Death is only one of them, but 95% of them involve some kind of suffering from what I see. The only person that I have met who has spontaneously awakened is a man almost 30 years older than me. He said that he looked into his daughter's crystal blue eyes and he understood and it clicked, and he's never been the same since. I know a couple of people who have had psychedelic experiences where they see the truth and they come back. I will be honest with you, I have taken psychedelics before awakening and since awakening. And to be honest, now they do not do what they did before because I'm kind of out of my own way learning myself anyway, but they still make me feel really connected to everything, but I don't really need them. So that is my story of awakening. On this channel, I am going to share what I have done since to maintain it. I'm going to tell you some very wild stories, but up next will be the dark night of the soul. So stick around for that, a very unpleasant story that you may be going through yourself. But just know you are not alone. I want to tell you all the things that I've done in the last 3 years to sustain it, to maintain it, and to enjoy it. And good luck on your journey, guys.